Problem, I have two parallel lines, line L and M, and that symbol right there means parallel. So in the figure above, line L is parallel to line M. X equals Y. What is the value of X? So before we get into this problem, check out what I have over here. Jot this down somewhere because I'm going to get rid of this after. Whenever you have two parallel lines and a line that intersects them, spot out your big angles versus your small angles. So see how this angle looks like the big one compared to this one? So that's why I labeled that B and I labeled that S. And I did that all around. So all around these angles and all around these angles. So this looks like my B, that one's small, and so forth. Now, any big in here, so this big and this big, this big and this big, they'll all equal each other. The smalls will equal each other. And lastly, any big, so if I pick any big and if I pick any small, doesn't matter which small I pick, it's got to add up to 180. Okay, so keep those couple of rules in mind, and that's going to help you on any parallel line problems. So let's get rid of this now. And let's bring a different color pen out, and let's see what's happening in this problem. This problem is telling me that X equals Y. Okay, so it's just saying X is literally the same exact thing as Y. So whenever I'm solving for algebraic expressions, which we will over here, actually, you know what? Hold that thought. Let's come back to that for a second. First, let's label these small or big. So doesn't that look like the small angle compared to this one? So that's my S, and that looks like the big. So I'll label that B. Now remember the rules from before. Any big plus any small has to equal 180. So I know that 3y plus x has to equal 180. Why? Because this is a small and that's the big. So that 3y and that x must equal 180 when I add them. Now comes this part about x equals y. So I can't really solve this equation right now because I have two variables. But the problem tells me that x is literally the same exact thing as y. So let's replace that x with a y. That'll equal 180. And the question is saying what is the value of x? So yeah, let's a couple of things here. I can solve for y here, right? 4y equals 180, and then y will equal 45. Or another thing that I could have done is instead of that y, I could have replaced that y with x, and that would have just given me x values, right? So if I do 3x plus x equals 180, then that would be 4x equals 180, and over here x happens to be 45 as well. So question saying what's the value of x? X is 45. And check it out, just to make sure it all works out. So we figured out that x is 45, right? So x is 45, and this angle right there is 3 times the value of y, and y was 45 as well. So 45 times 3 times 5 is 15, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1, 3, 135, so this will be 135. And let's just make sure that 135 plus 45 equals 185, plus 5 is 10, 3, 1, 4, 8, and it does 180, and that's why the answer is 45.